I didn't tell you the biggest moment though.
Are you allowed?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm
Okay.
not, then I guess
You
I'm going to
caught the
get
bouquet.
No, there was no bouquet catching.
Oh.
This moment will go down as one of those moments in my life that I will never, ever, ever forget.
Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews.
We have full shows. We've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go.
And now you can calm down with us.
Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
Welcome, everybody, to the Calm Down podcast. We are so excited. We are, I would say, reunited, but we just spent the last 2 of 3 weeks together, which made me so happy.
I know.
We have not been in our respective houses and or offices to do a podcast at full length in a minute. So we are back. We are back. We are back. We are so excited. Thank you guys for holding out and having patience for us while we moved around. Hopefully you got to listen to some of the episodes in Cannes, which is where we did the last podcast, which was so much fun to be there. Thank you, Sport Beach, for having us and Stagwell. So that was fun.
Really fun.
And then after that, we got to go on a trip together, which is what we were looking forward to.
I know.
We have to go back for a second because fill everybody in on London, all that stuff, because I haven't talked to you since I've been back. I got back the day before yesterday.
How's the jet lag?
Fine. Totally fine.
You're okay?
I'm actually okay. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I can acclimate pretty well on that kind of stuff. But you were gone for a long time and I haven't talked to you about coming home and seeing Mac for the first time. So back up, remind everybody where you were before you and I met up in the French Riviera.
Yeah.
So with my wrinkled AC/DC shirt.
Oh God, it's great. I was in the UK for 3 weeks filming a game show for Fox. It's going to premiere in the fall, which I'm super excited about. Also, I was thinking...
You look like a hot teacher with your hair up in
I got broken hair.
glasses.
We went way too dark on the roots that we're going to go get fixed later. God. No one needs to pretend it's already October. Relax.
I think you look like a hot, sophisticated gal.
Oh, stop. So we talked a lot about the game show, which I was thinking when Six Talk gets together, I'm going to maybe kind of bring some of the games, you know?
Great. Erin and I have another trip coming up, which we are excited about, but more on that later. So fill everybody in on when that was, how long you were there. And
So I was there for 3 weeks and then that was a lot, 15, 16-hour days, but I'm really, really excited about the show. And then I met you, Steve, Jarrett in Cannes. We did our podcast. We worked a little bit there and I hadn't seen Jarrett in about 3 weeks and I hadn't seen Mac. And then from there, the 4 of us went to the French Riviera and we did our thing and that was really nice. And I want to talk about traveling together too, because I think that's something I feel like people would write in and ask about. But yeah, and then fast forward, you guys went off to Italy, which we're going to talk about today. I can't wait. And then I came home. I was so sick of living out of a suitcase. I can't imagine you, although I'm sure you
were gone for 2 months, Erin.
Yeah. Well, I was gone. I got home exactly a month after I left. So I was gone pretty much a month.
It felt longer. Yeah.
And everything started to stink in my suitcase. We all were talking about living out of suitcases and how hard it was. I was just done. Got home. Mac was like, what up?
Tell me.
But I mean, it's not
tell me when you walked in, was he sleeping? Well, I need the details.
He was in bed when we got home. So I was super excited to see him in the morning. We both walked in together and it was kind of like we had never left. It was like, ooh, hi.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, it was fine. It's great. He has grown so much. He's gotten so much more hair, which is hilarious.
He's 2 now. He celebrated a birthday a couple days ago.
Yep, that was really fun. My parents were in town. Jarrett was in the middle kind of the draft. So we had a makeshift kind of birthday on a couple of days. But he's got a personality, man.
And so freaking cute. You guys,
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this, obviously it's Erin's kid, but like if I saw him, I'd be like, that's a really cute kid.
He's
He's
really funny.
adorable.
Yeah, he's fun. He's very opinionated. I am trying to learn very much how to navigate meltdowns into turning it into something else.
Okay, what do you
Um,
do in that situation? Like okay, give me an example. He's gonna have a meltdown about what and how do you fix it?
I don't really give my kid the phone. I don't think he needs it right now.
Mhm.
But when grandpa was in town, grandpa wanted to show him Disney videos, videos of Mac. Mac likes to watch himself. He starts
Oh,
cracking up. Oh, yeah, we like to watch
cute.
ourselves. So, but then we want the phone again, or we want to watch Disney Channel, and
Mhm.
we don't try to have him do it too much. So you would think this kid does it all the time with his reaction of seeing it. When he sees the TV, he's like, oh, 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 oh. And we're like, not today, buddy. We're not doing it today.
Okay.
I don't know how to moderate it because I don't want to totally take it away from him. I want to allow him certain times, but sometimes, like I guess I wasn't home last night. He had a full blown meltdown that he wanted grandpa to show him his phone. He wanted to watch TV, and
Shit.
we were like, no. I think you just have to redirect the
Yeah.
attention and something else. And then we had a situation. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to sit there. Nothing was making him happy. Pick him up, put him in the bath. I mean, if the bath's not making you happy, I don't know what else is
Does he
going to make
like the
you happy.
bath?
Loves water. Loves the
Okay.
pool, loves water, loves it all.
Great. And then he was fine.
Yeah, ish. Like, yeah.
But
He was
that's again,
two.
speaking from, anytime we talk about kids, I always have to, I don't have kids, but I spent a lot of time around
Yeah.
nanny. My mom did daycare. Like spent enough time around kids to have an idea. They need another thing. Like if that toy's not working, here's a different toy. Like to
Yep.
your point, like redirecting them. But that screen stuff is hard
It
because
is.
you're also not going to get away from it. And you're not
Mm-mm.
unrealistic where you're like, hey, watch mommy on TV. And he
No.
points to the screen. And then it's like, wait, no, we're not doing screens. It's like, that's kind of I
And
don't
it's
know.
also hard because we have the NFL network on all the time. We have NHL network on all the time. Come 2 months, I'm going to have all the games
Right.
on. It's just like,
Right.
but anyways, it's almost like not allowing your kid to eat sugar and then they eat it and they're like, "Ah!" So,
I want
I don't know.
sugar.
Anyways, it was
Yeah.
good to see him. I'm excited. We're going to have like a whole month together before we go back to work. So that'll be
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. So it was
Cute.
nice.
Cute. I was curious because I haven't talked to you since I left you, and I wanted the recap of that moment where because I know you talked about that like special time in the morning where you guys have in the Christmas.
Yeah.
There's a baby. Okay, so Max, great. We love
Max,
that.
great. He's crazy.
So as we mentioned, when you and I were done working can, then we went on to where did we go to Monaco after
We
that?
went to Monaco.
Yes, we did. Okay,
Yeah.
so
One
Erin
of the
and I,
nicest hotels I've ever stayed in my life and smelled, as Tom Brady would say, fresh as lettuce.
fresh as lettuce,
That's
hotel
actually a
day.
Sam Phipps Alvarez saying that whole crew says. Yeah.
We love them. Hotel de Paris, or whatever.
Gorgeous.
FaceTimed Al Michaels
Oh,
while
yeah.
we were there because we were talking about Formula One and the race that happens in Monaco. And Al, of course, being Al, has called one of those races. And I was obsessed with being there because I've always had an affinity for Grace Kelly. Just think that she
Beautiful.
is like, the end all be all of beauty. As I was telling you guys at nauseum, you guys are like, okay, we get it. The definition of beauty is symmetry. I always talk about this with Grace Kelly because when you like put a line down someone's face, it's very rarely symmetrical, but hers was exactly the same, like the millimeter between the nose and the eye and the whole thing. So she is by all intents and purposes the definition of beauty because of symmetry. So when we got there, I went on a run that morning and I wanted to just like see the city because it's like a good way to like see it. There's the Grace Kelly, monument here. There's this. I was like in heaven. So we FaceTimed Al. Al goes, the last time I was there, I was calling the race and Grace Kelly had, she would just died or something like that. And he had all these like crazy stories. And I was like, leave it to Al to be the encyclopedia of Monaco. But we also went into the casino, which anyone that knows me knows I love me a casino. I love gambling. I love that roulette table. I've got my numbers. I go 2 black. I go 7 for John Elway. I go 23 for Michael Jordan, 21 for Dion, 33 for Larry Bird, so on and so forth. I got a whole routine. 2 Jeter. I have a plan every time I go in a casino. Well, our plan kept getting stifled because we need the passport. Steve is wearing a tank top. You need
Jared
to have
Jared doesn't have open-toed shoes. He wouldn't put his Hermes sandals away. Guy buys one pair of sandals, thinks he can wear them with everything. Jared, put the blue sandals back. You don't need to wear them with every outfit. I don't want to hear how comfortable they are. No. Put the sandals away. Can you imagine if he had been invited to Jeff and Lauren's wedding? They would have said, no, you can't wear those sandals to the wedding, Jared. Put them away.
Meanwhile, Steve, before he's left for this trip, you would think that Steve was getting married. But with the amount of money that this guy spent on this trip, he had more outfits, more shoes, and every single pair of shoes were brand new. I'm like, rule number one of shoes, you've got to wear them before you start walking around these towns. This dude had so many blisters. He's like, let me buy sandals, and then maybe I can avoid the back heel blister. Well, then the sandals gave him a blister. So then he bought slippers, and now we're wearing the Bottega slippers everywhere. And to your point about Jared, I said, enough with those Bottega slippers. I can't. Those house shoes that are $4,000 need to be left in the house. I don't want to see them again. You know, when you're on vacation, it's like whether it's that or it's the same outfit, I want to throw away the 3 workout outfits that I only had 3 workout outfits on rotation for 3 weeks that I had to keep rewashing.
Yes.
I don't want to see that blue one ever again. I don't want to see the black one with the white lines ever again. I never want to wear any of the clothes I brought because I felt like I just had to keep re-wearing them. So anywho, Monaco's great. I've always wanted to go there. It's just incredible. Also, I'm just going to admit this. I had no idea that Monaco was the country and Monte Carlo was the city.
Same.
I kept saying to you guys, I was like, are we in Monte Carlo or is it Monaco's the city? And Jared goes, well, Monaco's the country. And I was like, it is? I was
like, Canada, relax. What did you read a pamphlet? He had no idea either.
So learned that Monaco's the country. Got it. In Monte Carlo, all I kept thinking about was the Monte Carlo in Vegas. And I was like, is there a Monaco hotel in Vegas? Anywho, was incredible. That dinner we had the first night, everything is just rich and fancy. And the amount of cars there, Jared was obsessed with the cars. Jared wanted to take a picture with
every car. And what did I keep saying? What are you going to do with that picture? What, are you going to go back and look at them?
How about me? I was taking pictures of the food. I make fun of people that take pictures of the food. Normally, I'm like, what are you going to do with the picture of your oysters? You're going to go back home and be like, hey, these oysters. No, I'm never going to see half those pictures. You're lucky if I print out the ones we're even in, let alone the food.
I know. I got to post ours. Going to the pool that day was so nice. I found that picture of you and Jared in the pool. God. It was so nice.
Strawberry daiquiris, pina coladas. There wasn't a drink that Jared, my man, as you like to say, he was my man on that trip when it came to cocktails because we're like, let's try that one. Let's try that one.
Oh my God, my little mixers.
We had such a great time in that hotel. It was really fun. Steve got in a fight with the woman at the pool because he really wanted to go to the cold plunge. If I heard any more about the cold plunge, I'm like, just go in the ocean. Okay. At this point. So, that was fabulous.
We had a situation in the casino, which it was so bizarre. There were a lot of Americans in Monaco, which I think I was shocked about. I was kind of like, ooh, where are these people from? And then you're like, Alabama, and there's
Orlando,
ton of Americans. So yeah, we all go to the casino and you and I are in our own little world. I think I forgot what we did that night. Oh, I know where we went that night. We went, to that restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know the one. And so the boys were trying to gamble. They were doing their own thing. You and I are sitting off to the side playing the game where I like this game. It gets funny, especially after a blue cocktail.
Oh, yeah. Go for it. Tell them the game.
We start just saying who people look like. And when you're on, you feel good about yourself.
We gave them a name. We gave them a job. We said where they were from.
Yeah.
Because you guys know exactly what we're talking about. When you sit at a restaurant or you're somewhere and you're judging is basically what you're doing. Not all negative, by the way. There was a lot of times where we're like, ooh, that girl's gorgeous. So what's her deal?
Great fanny.
Exactly. Badu. Always starts with, so what's going on here? That's what Erin and I would say basically on the entire trip. And it pertained to everything.
Hey, what's going on here?
Was the couple,
we were mostly talking about ourselves. So what's going on here?
Or what is going on here? So we played the game, what's going on here?
Or that's Sean McVay's twin. Or
yes,
that's so-and-so's twin. That's where I felt like we were
doppelgangers.
really thriving. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's, so-and-so. Like,
We
it would
did. We
always
had
go back
some
to
good
football
ones.
is what it did.
There was some really funny ones. So that was good. And then
We had the gals come up to us, which was bizarre.
I
So
don't know.
we had a couple people come up and they were so great. And listen, like, hey, what's up? Where are you guys from? But then there's always the one that's been overserved and doesn't know what to say.
No, when she said that to you, when she said that comment of you look much different in person than you do on TV, I was like, where do you want us to go with this comment?
Oh my God, I forgot what set me off. And I wasn't mean. I just sat there and I was like, okay.
Because by the way, it could have been a compliment. It could have been but it's like there was no emotion one way to direct you of like, instead of this is how it could have went and should have went, if that's obviously what you meant. Be like, oh my God, I've seen you on TV and you're pretty, but like in person, you are so much prettier or whatever. It just was like, it was very innocuous the way she said it. So you're like, it left room for interpretation. And if our interpretation was like, it's negative. So we're like, well, this ain't going to go well.
And you were great. You go, we're leaving.
Yeah, we're leaving.
I was like, what just happened?
This isn't going to go well. But you get the ones. We're here on a company corporate trip. Okay, did you need to go back with the company that you came with? Because this is not the company you're going to keep because there are
Three's company.
Yeah, Three's company. So anyways, but all in all, it was very fun and hysterical. And Monaco, wherever it is, the country, the city of Monte Carlo, it lived up to all my expectations and dreams. But there was the one moment, this might need to be 2 podcasts because the amount of stories that we have. No, all I kept thinking about is that picture, the fucking picture. Okay. So guys,
a picture.
This is not a knock.
The hippo stomach?
No, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. Okay. You know what? Let's just bring this up now and I'll circle back. Men do not think before they do anything.
No, it's fine.
No, Steve sends a picture of all of us from the boat day that we had, but he doesn't look at the details of everything. He's like, oh, everyone's great. Well, when you're sitting down, your stomach is going to fold over. There's going to be like lines. There's going to be whatever. So Erin then
think of hungry hippos. That was my stomach.
And I said, Steve, why would you send that? Because now she's going to think she looks fat when she doesn't look fat. He goes, I don't know. I wasn't looking at that. I'm like, that's the problem.
Zoom in on my stomach, Steve, always.
What would Mac do? Pull the shirt up and look for the belly button. No, I just was like, men are so stupid. Anyways, back to the picture I'm referring to. We go to this restaurant that is a referral from one of Jared's friends, whatever it is.
Lord.
And we're the first people there. We are the early bird special. And we're looking around and we're thinking to ourselves like, is this thing going to turn up? Like, what's going on? And sure as shit, it does. We got the bike club. We from Malibu.
Lord.
We got the whole thing.
So hired help. Yeah. You know what I mean when I say that.
And it's great. And Erin and I are like, now we really got some people to say what's going on here. So anyways, there's a photographer that comes around and is like, would you guys like a picture? Like we are at Magic Mountain or whatever.
Sure.
And, go ahead and buy the picture at the end of your stay. Well, at this point, all we have is iPhone pictures and nothing against iPhone. I need to buy the new one. I get it. I'm not good at the different modes. I get portrait takes better pictures, but
I've had to clean my camera.
Exactly. Like my phone is not the solution to taking pictures. Before we left, I should have bought a real camera and I didn't. And so I'm like, can we just get one picture all together that's not blurry and not looking like I drew it?
Yeah.
So this guy comes over and the picture wasn't even like anything amazing. There's like, it's just, it was clear and it was taken on a professional camera. So he then says it's going to be 60 euros or whatever it is. And I'm like, fine, we'll just pay it. And Erin and Steve are like, oh, absolutely not. No. And I'm like, whatever. Like, who cares? Like, we have a memory. Turns into a whole thing. Later that night, Steve and I go back. I make Steve go get the picture.
So
the moral of this whole story is, after all the fucking nonsense I attached to this photo, we left it at the hotel. We left
in Monte Carlo?
Sure did. We left that picture at the hotel, which is fine now because we ended up getting great ones from our sweet girl on the boat. How about that, girl?
Yeah,
Since we're just
great.
sticking with the picture theme. We rent a boat. The boys have planned the whole trip, which, by the way, shout out to the boys.
To the plus
Shout out
one.
to the plus ones. You know, we're the first to throw them under the bus, but we're the first to put them on our shoulders and praise them as well. They planned the whole trip. We didn't want to be messing with the hotels. You had just come off working for 3 weeks. They did a fantastic job.
did.
So they organized this boat. We go out, and this sweet girl that's working on the boat, after we're, dancing around 17 drinks in and having the time of our lives, she's like, I have a professional camera. I can take some pictures of you. Oh, that's all you got to say to me. Well, let the photo shoot commence. And they were such fun memories. So again, to the sweet gal on the Lauren, thank you for capturing the memories. The Lauren was the boat, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. But we had such a great time. So that's Monaco. That was the boat day. And now where do we end up after that?
We went to, was it DeCap? Leonardo DeCap?
Hotel DeCap. I don't know. We're not. It was, and we went to that cute town.
Oh my God. Which I was going to say this. You were talking about, I forgot what you mentioned. Oh, wanting to burn outfits. So it's hot. Like it's hot right now in France. And I guess, yesterday in Paris, it was like super hot. I was watching the news, but anyways, we decide after a little Monsoir breakfast that we are going to go walk around. And then finally we're like, screw it. Let's just get in a cab. Let's go to Ez and check it out. Mm-hmm. Thank God we wore what we wore, which basically I decided I thought my ass looked adorable in short little Nike shorts.
They did. You work out every single day. This bitch on vacation, you guys, let me just interject real quick.
Oh, Lord.
I would sleep in 10:30, wake up, send him a text. This girl's already worked out. She's already walked around the city. You guys had walked down to you're like, oh, there's a great little town over here. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. You've already done all of this. She'd wake up every morning and work out. I'm like, what? I'm on vacation. So you better knock it off. Your ass looks fantastic. I'm grabbing chapstick. Go.
I love you. So we decide to go to this little town, which I'm so glad we did. Boys are in workout clothes. We're in workout clothes. Then thank God we were, because we end up going up this kind of I wouldn't say treacherous, but some points of it were a little hotel that was kind of on a rock. Mm-hmm. And we were dying because people were dressed to the nines in their Hermes sandals, in their little outfits and dresses, so they could get the photo.
You know the one.
Oh,
the Bougainvillea is cascading down. You got the cobblestone walkway, and that Zimmerman dress is ready to be photographed.
Glowing.
Not us. I'm in workout and I haven't washed in a week. And, we're like lucky to even get up the hill. Whatever.
Yeah, we take a ton of photos in the same outfit. We meet this great waiter host who seats us up top. The four of us are crammed in, eating the best burger, burrata, fries, all of it, overlooking the Mediterranean in our workout clothes, while all these girls are taking their photos of a lifetime. And I go back and look at ours and I'm like, wow, I never want to see those Nike shorts ever again. But listen, we said, thank God we wore that stuff, because what a pain in the ass it would be to get up and down that freaking hill.
Can you imagine you in sandals?
You saw how much I trip.
One thing I learned about Erin on this trip, is that she's a trip. I didn't know at one point when we're walking the streets in Monaco, you just fell into this side alleyway. And I was turned around and you were gone. I was like, are you okay?
Fully sober.
This was noon. What was going on?
I just trip. Pick up your feet, gal. I mean, it's a problem. And my kid's the same way. So that's super fun.
You're adorable.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
and then we go to DeCap, right? Which was great.
So this hotel, you guys, let me tell you, this is
it wasn't cheap.
You better be saving up the pennies, okay? The quarters, the nickels, all the dimes, because she is pricey, okay? And then I'm looking around and I'm thinking to myself, we each have multiple jobs. The boys work really hard. I'm like, we're working. I'm looking around, I'm thinking to myself, how the is everyone here affording it? We're the poorest people there by a landslide. When we sat down for the first lunch while we're waiting for our rooms to get ready, and I turn around to just take in the whole scenery, and this woman has a ring on her finger that is probably 40 carats large. No, I'm not even exaggerating, as you know. And I'm like, we ain't in Kansas anymore. Okay, we are a long way from Ruby motherfucking Ranch. I was like, this place is, how are we even allowed to stay here? It is.
And then you guys start ordering $30 frozen Aperol.
Oh my God. One frozen drink was $28. Now, my dad always taught us when we were younger, he'd go, and we had no money growing up, but my dad was always big on like, hey, if we're going to go on vacation, we don't go on vacation to save money.
Yeah.
So get what you want. That's why we're here. I mean, as Steve's kept going like this. Another round. I was like, hey, they're $28 a piece. And he's like, it's fine. It's fine. And I was like, no, it's not fine. I mean, every meal was like $900 by the time these fucking slushies were done. And I'm like, these things are crazy expensive. And then I'm the queen of not liking any drink I order. So now I'm ordering the 7th drink, and the first drink hasn't even been, finished. And I'm like, who do I think I am? I also
at one point, you went from a frozen Aperol spritz to a strawberry daiquiri to a John Daly to a vanilla milkshake.
I did. That's actually an accurate depiction. I did, in fact, go because I thought I heard the kid behind me order a milkshake. I was like, oh, that sounds good.
Ooh.
So I ordered the kids' pasta because that was cheaper than the adult pasta.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, I'm then going down to the gift shop. This is me in a nutshell. I won't look at price tags of like the hat I'm going to buy or the sunglasses or any of this other shit.
Oh, I have your hat.
But I'm worried about how much the pasta with clams are. I'm like, this is $46 for lunch. I could spend $46 on angel hair pasta, so I'm ordering off the kid menu.
I know.
Oh my God. But the food was great. Everything was okay, except the shower wouldn't drain.
Oh yeah. Tell the shower story.
So Steve, again, Jarrett, great job planning.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say shit. I'm the first one to take a shower in there, and I'm like, uh-oh, this ain't good. The shower's not draining.
Yeah.
So he gets in and he goes, what? The shower's not draining. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed that, but I just didn't know if it was just like me or what. And he goes, no, this is not going to work. Well, if Steve's upset about something, you don't want to be on the other end of that phone call.
I didn't know this about him. I didn't know this.
Ask the Orkin guy at the ranch. I mean, he will go ballistic. And his whole thing is he doesn't like to be taken advantage of. So he has this tone that is very stern and aggressive. And I have to tell him sometimes like, hey, there's a better way to communicate. Like you can still get your point across, but you don't need to motherfuck the guy at the front desk.
Sure.
Like that's crazy behavior. Okay. We're going to be escorted out.
Yeah.
So anytime something like this happens, I always then have to go, okay, just be careful on how you word these things, because this is a very nice hotel. I'm sure there can be a remedy for it. Goes downstairs. I'm so glad because now I'm mortified. Now I'm like thinking to myself, they have all said in French, this guy's an asshole, and then we're perpetuating the Americans are, whatever.
You paid a lot of money to be there and your shower didn't work basically every day you were there.
So what I appreciate is Erin going, he has a point. This is great. So, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I didn't pay for this hotel room. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up because it's not my money that I'm wasting. This is my man's.
Yeah.
Needless to say, they upgrade us to
Disneyland.
What is the presidential suite, basically. We walk in and I'm like, so then first thing I'm thinking is, whose life did you threaten down there to get this room? We've got the living room. We've got the, the room. We got we got the huge veranda. So I'm like, well, let's just take advantage of this. So Steve goes, tomorrow, breakfast to our room. And I'm like, they don't want to do that on their vacation. We ended up having so much fun.
A great time.
Erin walks in their bathrobes, brings the champagne. We had a full breakfast spread. It was very fun. Then we immediately got kicked out back into the maid's quarters the next night. But one night we were Pretty Woman in the palatial palace at the Hotel de Cap. And we thought we were fancy. I'll tell you who was fancy. The people that had a wedding there. Because how much did that thing cost?
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, we're sitting there and there's fireworks going off. And Erin and I are like, whose wedding is this? Now Steve's got into a deep dive of trying to figure out who got married there. If anyone knows who got married at the Hotel de Cap during the week of June, whatever, 20th through 25th. Let us know.
That was a nice appetizer for the wedding that you were headed to, which I haven't talked to you about Lake Como.
Yes.
The pictures were gorgeous. So we leave, we go back to the States. Carissa and Steve extend their European vacation and they hit Lake Como, which you had never been to. And I'm so glad you went.
Oh my God. It's my new number one favorite place. So Lake Como, for anyone that hasn't been, like, obviously they know like George Clooney lives on Lake Como and it's like this, like, you know, it was the perfect So I love Italy so much. Like it's my favorite place to go, but it's still like to go to Italy with a lake. Cause growing up in Seattle, like I feel like that's like, obviously it's not Lake Como growing up, but it's still like lake life has a different vibe to it.
Yeah. You love that.
I do. I loved it so much. And so we get there and we're at this incredible hotel. Again, Steve's planned the whole thing. And I'm feeling guilty that Steve's planned this whole trip. But so I'm like, so we get there, we're sitting, waiting for our room to get ready. We have this great lunch. We're outside. I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm like, I gotta find something like I can surprise him with, because at this point, like he's done everything. So remember how he kept talking about wanting to drive like the old fashioned car or whatever. So I go to the concierge desk and I was like, can I rent a car? It turns out everything's a stick shift. He can't drive a stick shift, so we're not doing that. But I rent us a boat. And then I'm also like, can you get us a photographer? Because my thing is this, I also make fun of all the girls.
That's how you got those photos?
Yes.
So cute and smart.
So I'm like, Steve always complains we never have like any pictures of us. We've been together 3 years and we're still seeing him in the fucking cherry shirt from the first Italian vacation 3 years ago, which the boys up for Thursday night are like, is he wearing makeup? Like it just was like one of those like cheesy pictures that like, we have to stop using it. So I'm like, I'm going to get us a photographer. I just like create these great memories, whatever.
So sweet, Carissa.
So he had this like fancy dinner planned for us one night. So I put on one of the dresses that I was going to wear to Lauren's wedding that I didn't end up wearing.
You look beautiful.
I mean, by the way, they look like, wait till I show you these. They look like engagement photos. Okay.
They were great.
I'm like, oh, you haven't even seen you've only seen the boat ones. So the boat ones are one. I was like, we're doing 2 outfit changes. And so I go back to him and I tell him, I said, hey, we got a boat tomorrow. I hired a photographer, 2 hours. We're on a boat for an hour. We're on land for an hour. We're taking pictures and you're going to have all of them.
Cute.
And he was like, okay, great, whatever. So okay, great, until the day comes. I'm like, you got to put that tux on. He goes, why did I put a tux on? And I was like, don't complain. You're going to want these pictures. The photographer was awesome. It actually ended up being really fun. I was like, and then we'll be on the boat. So we had so much fun there. But these photos, legit, wait till I show you. They look like they're engagement photos.
Aww.
So you're going to be like, did you guys get married and not tell me? No, it was one of those things that I highly encourage anyone. If you go on a vacation in a beautiful backdrop, hire a photographer for at least an hour, 1 hour minimum, and you get fun photos that you'll have forever. And if we never go back, we'll have those. So
I love it.
It was great. Then we went on to Venice for the royal wedding.
Okay. Here we go.
The royal wedding, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will start by saying this. I've had the great privilege of being close with Lauren. We've gotten much closer over the last couple of years. But I remember, it must have been like 5 or 7 years ago now. She had just started dating Jeff. And we went to dinner and it was me and her and a couple girls. And she's, telling us about how she cares about him and stuff like that. And of course, you're like, okay, well, like, we'll see where this goes. Fast forward to me sitting at their wedding and I'm bawling. I'm bawling. People are such haters. They're going to say whatever they want anyways. I don't care. I know I have watched this relationship up close and personal now for a while. I always say to Steve, whenever I come back from being with them or seeing them, whatever, you need to love me more. The way that they love each other is it's so beautiful. They're like obsessed with each other.
Aww.
And so watching her like walk down the aisle and watching him and he like starts to tear up and the vows that they said to each other and all of their kids got up and spoke and said the most beautiful things, like really like personal, intimate things that like only, the kids could observe. And then it just was so, I can't overstate. Yes, everyone from the outside can look and be like, oh God, what is all this? The love that these two have for each other is infectious. And the way that they like care about each other, it makes me want to be a better partner to Steve. It makes me just realize that you can have all the money in the world, you can have all of these things, but like if you find something like that, like a love like that, then you are the richest person in the world. Forget the money part, because that is so rare to find that. So I was really happy to see just, that union like come to fruition. So the weekend was so fun, but it was also such a reminder of like, you can get a second chance at love or anything like that. And I took that to heart, because again, I'm always tough on myself about having divorces and stuff like that. And both of them, of course, have been married before, but to find that like true love thing. And then Usher performed and said something really great to both of them. He's like, this love is like not only for this lifetime, it's for the next lifetime. And then I'm like crying. And then when I'm like, Daddy's home. And it's like,
Dad!
Exactly.
That's great.
It was awesome. It was such a fun
love
wedding.
in the club, crying.
Completely. But it's such a testament to them, because they want everyone around them to have fun. So the entire weekend was
you've always said what insane hosts they are.
Every detail. I mean, think about it. Like the wedding, it's like, yeah, of course, that's going to be beautiful. But like all of the details, like there was the party the night before, the reception, like dinner thing, which was incredible. The wedding was incredible. Then there was another party the following night. Yeah. And it was all to make sure that everyone that had traveled, that had, gotten there, was going to have a great 3-day, sort of extravaganza centered around, yes, of course, the wedding, but really just about having a good time. So it was incredible. I mean, the details. And Steve and I kept looking around. It's another reason where you're like, I can never get, that is on a whole other level.
Right.
But like,
I don't even want you to stay at my house anymore. I can't provide, like, my God, I saw the pillowcases you put on Instagram.
Custom built, like your initials, everything was just so curated, and the orchestration of like, everything. Anyways, I could go on and on, but our wonderful colleague, your teammate every Sunday, Tom Brady, was there, and Tom hasn't seen me in my element. He's here and there, like whether it's a, preseason game or when.
And I didn't ask him. Like I checked in about the wedding, but I didn't ask on my girl, because I was like, I didn't know how long he wanted to hang or what he was up to. Oh yeah, you fill it in.
So NFC Championship, we'll see, Tom, we obviously seen each other in those settings, but Tom hasn't seen me at a party.
Hurricane Charissa.
Look, Hurricane Charissa, you would think as I get older, like maybe it would start to like decrease the octave level. No, it's only ramping up. And I'm not going to apologize for it anymore.
No one's asking you to.
Because I'm going to tell you what.
Go.
You get one life. And when you're in these situations,
one life to live.
Why am I not going to have a great time? And why is Steve not going to take that aux cord when we're in the hotel gritty and the music isn't really where we want it to be? Steve,
did you do the gritty?
Hacks into the mainframe, gets the aux cord, and now we got Petey Pablo on the speakers, and we are throwing it down. And let me see you 1, 2 step. We're doing Sierra, we're doing Petey Pablo, we're doing Snap Your Fingers. Yourself. You can do it all by yourself. I mean, I broke my thumb. I'm pretty sure I broke my thumb doing it by myself.
I'll take that over a leg. Fine.
So there was a lot of dancing. And at one point at very, very late into the early morning, I looked at Tom and I was like, don't judge me. And he was like, do you, girl, do you. That was night 1. By night 3,
night 1?
It was night 1. Great. By night 3,
my girl,
and I was still doing me, he goes, do you, girl. And we were having such a great time. So I appreciate Tom not judging me. And I would just look at him at some point and he would just start laughing. And I'm like, look, don't invite me if you don't want to have a good time.
Listen, Tom is obviously the GOAT. And has been named MVP quite a few times. But the text I got back from him was Charissa was the MVP. Not only that, but I will share a little. When I was with you. We were all together on a little trip when Tom first joined our family at Fox. And he came down and sat with us. And I just said, this is Charissa. And made a comment about the podcast, which by the way, we have to get that beauty on before this season starts.
Yes, we do.
And I had said to him, and I'm shocked he remembered, not that he doesn't have a good memory, but he brought it up to me again this year. He goes, hey, EA, remember when you told me that Charissa was like my Julian? And you're like my Julian, that relationship. And I said, yeah. The text back from the wedding was, Chris is like 5 Julians.
I will take that as a massive compliment.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But it was awesome. I had such a good time. And more than anything, I was so happy to see those two people who are obsessed with each other tie the knot. And
That's
it was
awesome.
beautiful. So yeah, very, very fun.
Well, you looked gorgeous. And I will say, I was dying for intel and how you guys were. I think at one point, I FaceTimed a few times and then I was like, Erin, relax. She'll get home soon. But I think Steve answered.
We were busy with the baby boy's birthday.
No. When you guys were all getting IVs and he's like, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then he turned me off and I'm like, no.
Well, time zones also, I mean, that's the other part too. Like I kept forgetting where I was like, I'd go to, I'm like, it's 2:30 in the morning. Like,
I don't care. I'm waiting. I'm like in bed like this.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to catch up with you offline and just hear how it was. But I'm so excited because I heard from several people that were there, just like, it was fantastic. And it was just, they wanted you guys to have so much fun.
My God.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it was. Anybody, I mean, look, usually it's not every wedding is going to be like this, but the emphasis was even down to the details of them planning, like, hey, we have like this restaurant from 12 to 4 is available for everyone to go. The IVs, like everything was like making sure that everyone else was having a good time. So it just speaks to who they are as people and also as a couple, where like their objective is to make sure the whole collective group had a good time. And I got to tell you, I don't know who the wedding planners were, but holy shnikes.
Just in what regard?
Every detail. This is Steve. So Steve, how much money do you think they're spending on the caviar? I'm like, oh, he's sitting there scooping out.
Do you have some? Remember we were talking about caviar?
No, I'm not a caviar person. And I wanted to be. I was like, if there's ever a time to be
if there's a time.
Steve, when they come around on the trays, Steve didn't turn down one tray of anything.
I wouldn't either.
Just grabbing off all the trays. And I was like, bro, we're good here. Like, he's like, oh my God, I'm not passing up this. I'm not passing up that.
Oh my God, I would have been Cousin Eddie at that wedding. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he was also, what about Bob? Everything, you try this? I'm like, we got it. It's
so fun.
Being distributed to everybody.
Great.
But yeah, there's those. I didn't tell you the biggest moment though.
Are you allowed?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not, then I guess I'm going to get
the bouquet.
No, there was no bouquet catching. Oh. This moment will go down as one of those moments in my life that I will never, ever, ever forget.
Okay. How am I just hearing about this?
Because I think I just am still in shock.
This is what I was very worried about with the wedding. I love the fact they didn't have cameras, but I was worried about my girl remembering every detail.
I know. And trust me, if there was ever a time I wanted a camera, it is for this exact moment. So they have these, like, on the third night, it's a big party and like everyone's dancing, ushers performing, hot. And there's these like kind of like couch things, but you can stand on them and like dance. And so I have those fans, that like, it's getting hotter, but like everyone's just like, whatever. And so I'm like, with the fan, I turn around, Mick Jagger is standing right behind me. When I say right behind me, babe, I'm talking like right here. He also has a fan. And I'm like, so you know what I'm going to do?
Like Jagger?
I got the moves like Jagger. I went like this and he went like this and I went like this and he went like this. And I was dancing with Mick Jagger. We were fanning each other. At one point I was going like this and fanning him and then he'd fan me. And I see Steve.
That is awesome.
I see Steve out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, he is like this. Like, what is happening? And so we're just dancing and going like this. And then like we turn back around and we're all dancing as like a big group. And Steve looks at me and he goes, holy shit. I'm like,
that's awesome.
I know. Like there's those moments in life where you're like, holy fuck. Like I just got to dance with Mick Jagger and like, what is this life? I know those are like, there's some things you're like, oh, it's obnoxious. Like we get to meet a lot of cool people. Yeah. We get to do a lot of cool things. And it is never, ever lost on me. Like whether it's our job, whether it's, when I used to work in entertainment on a red carpet and interviewing, people at the Oscars, dancing with Mick Jagger.
That's amazing. And I'm so glad you like just started going with the choreography. I mean, that I was worried about you.
I am not going to pass up this opportunity. Great. Ever. And so he was like, people were starting to like file out. This is at like late at night. And so then he like leaves and I have the fan and I'm like, bye. And he like waves by. I mean, Charissa, we got it. Just knock it off.
Is he tall? Little?
He tall. I mean, middle. Yeah. But his just presence where you're like,
God. Speaking of royalty.
oh my God, I have at the ranch, I have a wall-sized picture of him and John Lennon in this like famous picture where it's like, I just want to be part of that conversation. And so to see him, like I've never even seen him in person before. And I was just, I don't know, it's something. So Jeff and Lauren, I know you guys got married and congratulations, but congratulations to me and being able to dance with Mick Jagger at your wedding. Now that is the gift that keeps on giving.
It sure is.
Anywho, with that, I will say it was quite a party.
That's all we needed. Cheers. And with that, I think we have a lot of script reads to read next. So we'll let everyone go. I want to talk about next time we hop on, though, DCC and the new Cowboys doc.
Oh, yes. Yes. We have to answer. Oh, my gosh. We have to answer that question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Really fast. Yes. Yeah. We got a question in the pregame about have we binged DCC? I think I'm on episode 6.
I haven't started.
That's okay. You've been at your own party doing your own Thunderstruck.
My own mind.
And that's probably where I would have lost my shit is if they had Thunderstruck. And I would said, everybody move out. I've got a routine to show all of you.
Would have. I've actually been at a party where you've done that.
You are not wrong. I am going to say this about season 2 of the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, America's Sweethearts. It has not disappointed. It is inspirational as it was the first season. I actually texted Charlotte Jones and told her when I was in the UK, somebody stopped me out there and said, do you know the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders? They were already iconic before this show, but it just has increased their brand. I love how honest, how tough the organization is with what they expect from these women. I love how the women throw themselves in it. I was crying yesterday on a plane, binging it, watching when it's so emotional. It means so much to them. It reminds me a lot of how you and I think of our jobs and little things of like maybe, just that come about that we call each other and cry about. We love it so much. Yeah. It is our world, that very much like theirs. When girls get selected to be what they call the point in the triangle, they are bawling.
That's the best spot. Like that's like the queen spot.
Oh yes. Okay. It's awesome. And it's awesome how last year's season has made them bigger than ever. And like, it's just, I love it so much. I love it. I love Kelly. I love Judy. I look forward to every game I work with the Cowboys, seeing those women. I just love them. And it's season 2 is great.
I hadn't watched, I've known your obsession with them. You're not alone in that for a long time. So, Ashley Holland, who's married now to Steve's best friend, Pan, used to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. So when we all went on vacation, you guys did Thunderstruck together. I was like, this is like Erin's waited her whole life for this. But that idea of it, like if you were a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, royalty. So that was my takeaway when I watched it last year. Again, I haven't seen any of it this year. But what I didn't realize, they don't get to keep their outfit.
I know.
That is, but I'm also kind of, it like adds to the intrigue where it's like, it's so sacred and so special. Like we're not going to have you have this thing hanging in your closet. It's going to always stay in our, like that's, it's sad that you don't get to keep your outfit, but also part of the legend that is DCC.
I love them. And I can't wait till you watch some of season 2. It's emotional. I'll love
watch it with you when I see you in few days.
Hey.
Recap the episode, all things. Obviously, Erin and I are so grateful to have the opportunity to travel, to go on vacations together. Shout out to our guys again for planning the whole thing. And also, you know what else it makes me realize? I love traveling. I do. I love it so much. But I also really like being home. It's like, reminds you like when you come back and you're like, oh, okay. So it's always a good reminder, like go so you can appreciate what you have, have those great experiences, and hire a photographer for 1 hour. Wait till you see these fucking pictures. Who do we think we are? These pictures are obnoxious. I'm the person that I make fun of. You know, the people that we know that take way too many fucking photo shoots. Yeah, that's about to be me. You might want to mute me for a week on the feed. You know what I mean? We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.